to the moon. Take a look at this. The new cryptocurrency pick, which is, of course, now I can reveal it, Dr. Pepe, a meme coin created by the Tking team. Of course, there's a reason why this was a fun swing pick and not a big swing pick, because it is a pick for fun. This is not a utility coin. This is not something that's like the best thing ever, but it's a lot of fun and it certainly has potential. And so because of that, a fun swing pick. And so far, I've been very happy to watch this chart. And of course, we're also going to talk about what CNBC just said about Dogecoin. They gave a stark warning about Dogecoin, a warning that perhaps means you should sell all of your Dogecoin instantly. A little bit of sarcasm in there, but I'll show you what CNBC said and why they believe you should not have anything other than, of course, extreme fear in relation to pretty much all things Dogecoin and Bitcoin as well, of course. They hate it, apparently. It's so funny to watch these articles just grovel for views by saying the most ridiculous things, kind of like what I do here on this channel. Just kidding. No, I actually have... See, the key is, here on this channel, I actually give information, and valuable information. I spend a lot of time researching it. But these articles, they don't care. They'll just give whatever random opinions they want with actually no attempt to put information and facts into it. That's what causes you to come back to the show, is when I give you so much information, they're like, dang it, I wouldn't have heard that anywhere else, and I'm going to come back and watch them out again tomorrow night. That's the key here on our success for this channel. But you can see here, this is what it's done. A nice spike at first, and it has been holding pretty strong there with that, going up to around a 500K market cap for a little bit of time there. Then now I believe it's at like half of that, like 250 or something, which is to be expected on a launch. And I did say up here, I said expect a potential correction. You're always going to want to make sure if you are interested in trading some profits in that, doesn't mean you have to sell it all, right? You know, you can still be selling, buying more, whatever you want to do, right? But it's always good to look at some of these launches and try to find ways to take profits, and a lot of people in our community did, and that's perfectly okay. That's how cryptocurrency works. You're supposed to take profits and supposed to have fun with it. But yeah, they have this website. It's pretty cool. All the fun they put into it. Once again, this is not a utility coin. It's just for fun. So invest in it with that in mind. I don't want to mislead anyone into thinking this is the next Tking, because it's not, but it still is a fun project. And who knows if it's going to be successful to a high degree or only a small degree, because it already has been to a small degree. So we'll have to see what happens next. It'll be fun to watch. I know that for sure. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, USD Coin, XRP, Cardano, and Dogecoin sitting there at number 8 right now, with, of course, on the week, a slight increase. It is back up over 8 after that scare that we had, which was, thankfully, it was not a bad scare. It is now something we can look back on in history and say, okay, well, that doesn't mean it's all going to crash because of that big red candle that we saw, which was kind of out of nowhere. Here's the article, though, from CNBC. 31% of new crypto buyers are influenced by friends. And they say, here's where that can be a horrible idea. It's terrible. Unreasonably bad. It's urgent. It's a warning. Don't invest in cryptocurrency if your friend tells you to. And the claims they put in this were pretty ridiculous. So they found a little bit of data here. 31% apparently of cryptocurrency buyers in 2022 did so because of a friend's suggestion. But what they're failing to realize is that in 2021, an even higher percentage of people invest in crypto because of a friend's suggestion. And many of those people made a lot of money if you trade smartly. Now, there's always going to be suckers and losers in anything that will lose a lot of money. And that's not good. We hate that. But at the same time, we're going to be the ones that are doing it smart. We're going to be the ones that are making money from it. And as long as you're on that side of things, then you don't need to worry as much about this. And if you're down a little bit, if you're down some, that doesn't matter. I mean, anyone can be a sucker at first and then become someone who's good at investing. That's the ultimate arc. And in fact, most people, even the best traders now, I sucked when I first started out. Everyone sucks at first, and then you get better over time. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because now we're all, to some degree, veterans, and we're going to be better at it than the average person coming in. And that's why we will be the ones that make the most profits during the next bull run. We're also seeing something that's early, that's new, that's helpful, that's better for society. And anytime you are able to capitalize on a wave like that at the very beginning, you're going to see big success from it. But they also said buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, other digital assets on the basis of a friend's recommendation may lead to trouble, according to these experts. Oh, wow. Experts said that. Well, then it must be true. Investors may not understand the risk and volatility of cryptocurrency or how it fits in a well-diversified investment portfolio. So what they're saying is just keep being poor. It's fine. No big deal. Don't start a business and become successful. Don't even try. Don't invest in anything you believe in. Just simply go to a job, be a corporate, a corporate L for your entire life, a big L. Just do that. That's all you gotta do. That's all they want you to work for them, make them products and stuff, and never do your own thing, never become successful off of cryptocurrency, or start a business, of course. Either one of those things, they would highly advise against it. Imagine a friend told you to start a business, you failed on your first business. You learned a lot. Maybe you fail on your second business. You learn a lot. By the time you get to your third business, you're going to be successful. And similar things can be said about cryptocurrency. Maybe you failed the first time you invest in it, sure. But those friends aren't on the wrong track with you. They're telling you something that has the ability in the future, once they get better at it, to cause a lot of success for you. Especially because every single person who invests in cryptocurrency right now, or any time in the past, including at its all-time high, within the next 5 to 10 years, is going to become wildly rich from that with even a small or medium-sized investment. Maybe a really small investment, you're not looking at much, but even a medium-sized investment, that's all it takes to become wildly rich in this cryptocurrency market that we're going to not only see in the next 5 to 10 years, but even beyond that, it's going to continue to be a really, really, really positive thing, almost certainly. And even in the short term, you have huge potential to make a lot of money if trading things right, if taking profits at the right time, if buying coins at the right time, if understanding risk and comparing that with opportunity. If you do all those things, you will succeed, period. Because most people in crypto don't do those things, and so they have a much lower chance of success. If you are the person with the highest chance of success, then you will more often than the people you're competing against, and that's all it takes to win. It's really that simple. As we have now Tucker Carlson, this is kind of crazy. This bodes very well for Twitter and Elon Musk, by the way. Tucker Carlson on his Twitter show, which is just a short video, it wasn't a full show, but still, he got a total of 72.7 million impressions on this. Now, I'll go ahead and actually show you directly what that looks like. But you can see right here the difference. Tucker Carlson versus cable news. All of these cable news shows combined equaled less than the total amount of people who had an impression on Tucker Carlson's show in just a single short period of time on Twitter. That's remarkable. And it is important to include this context. And Community Notes did part of it, but I'll even add more to that. So Community Notes says, while this tweet containing Carlson's monologue had 74.9 million views, the actual video of the monologue only had 22 million views, which is important to distinguish, meaning over 52 million people saw the tweet and did not watch the monologue, which of course is accurate, and some of those may be the same people twice. But there is something else to keep in mind that they are not mentioning right now, and if we go to Tucker Carlson's Twitter right now, you can see there's an additional thing to keep in mind, which is, of course, that this tweet, which is now up to 22.5 million views and up to 76 million impressions, this tweet also had a lot of people, just like the cable news shows, who may turn it on but not actually watch. So all these numbers are the people who turned on the TV and didn't watch the show. I wonder how many of cable news's audience, around 50 million or so, I wonder how many of them didn't actually watch it. The answer is, of those 53.1 million, a lot of people probably had it on in the background. A lot of people probably didn't actually pay attention to the show. Now, I will still give credit to the fact that, of course, an impression is less than the amount of people who are going to be not watching it. Probably like maybe 10 million or so people just had it on in the background, maybe 15, 20 if you want to really guess high. Still though, so that's 40 million compared to 20 million. So Tucker Carlson was able, with just one Twitter show, to get approximately half of all of the media's views combined in just one single episode. Now, when you consider what that means for the future of Twitter, you start to realize that's very good for Dogecoin, that's very good for Twitter as well. And whether you like Tucker Carlson or not, maybe you hate him, maybe you love him, it doesn't matter. This is still a fascinating thing. It's the first time we've ever seen something like this, where a mainstream cable person has been fired. And then they come to Twitter, they come to social media, and they're able to put this much of a splash onto the internet just like that. By the way, the key demographic, young people, around 500,000 or so watch on average Tucker Carlson's show. Now that's often different people, right? So maybe we're looking at a total of maybe a few million people who are young in total that watch a show at some given point in time. And when you consider that, and this has 924,000 likes, he's reaching a new audience now too. There are new people who would have never seen him for the first time that are now watching him. So he's not only building up more people, he's also doing it in a way that totally slaps the cable news shows in the face. And we can just look at like the top 10 combined, I think had a total of maybe like 10 million. Regardless, he still had more views, just views, on his show than all of the people who watched Fox News in a 24-hour period combined. Now, if you include all these other ones, that includes CNN, MSNBC. This includes a lot of them, a lot of big shows. And I'm actually impressed that some of these shows were even able to get that many views. Normally they get less than that. This may have been a slightly misleading day, but nonetheless, I love it, and I want to see a lot more of it. I think social media is the future because it's significantly better. You're still with social media, yeah. You have to pay a percent to YouTube, right? Yeah, there's to some degree your boss, but less so. So you have more creational freedom. You have around the same you're paying to them, sometimes much less, and you have the ability to do it and reach a new audience consistently. That right there makes social media better than cable news. At least it gives it the ability for it to be better. Now, if you're a small YouTuber and you go on cable news, yeah, you're going to be making significantly more money. But you have the ability to become a big YouTuber, and that's the entire point. It's about the same level of difficulty to become a cable news host. It's very hard as it is to become a famous YouTuber. It may even be a little bit easier to be a famous YouTuber by slightly, but not that much easier. It's around the same. It's around the same. I love Tucker, says Salty Mexican. I love them both, says Bobby White. There we go. I mean, yeah, personally, I like listening to him. I think he's one of the only people that is able to successfully call both Republicans and Democrats in all of cable news. There's people who are partisan hacks that will call it one side, that will call it the other side. He calls out both. And I'm very impressed with his ability to do that. He also is able to, in a way like I haven't seen just about anyone else, be anti-war. That right there is extremely, extremely important. For all the people who are disagreeing with him on certain views and happy he's gone, well, you're going to enjoy more Republicans that want war. And it's an unfortunate byproduct of the fact that a lot of news hosts try to convince people of that who don't know what they're talking about necessarily, which is a lot of people, right, who don't have time. Maybe they would know what they were talking about if they had time to go research it. They don't. So they don't know what they're talking about. And as a result, when they're told something, why wouldn't you believe it, right? So that happens on both sides. Democrats believe a lot of things that aren't true. Republicans believe a lot of things that aren't true. And as a result, we now live in a world where a lot of stupid decisions are made, a lot of stupid people are elected, and it continues happening like that. Tucker Carlson was one of the voices that made that less likely. He was one of the people who did say truth, even if it meant going against his own party. If enough of the media, CNN, MSNBC, if enough of them had that same level of integrity to call it their own side, we'd have a significantly better world. If enough of the Republican media had enough integrity to call it their own side, we'd have a significantly better world. But you know what? At the end of the day, people hate him on the left because he made statements and clips that go against their narrative, just like it'll always be the case that people on the right will hate left news hosts because they say things that go against their narrative. It's all kind of silly at the end of the day. Just respect truth. Respect trying to get better, no matter who's doing it. I think that's the appropriate position to have. Bobby White wins the caption, LOL, says Justin Walker. There you go. Bobby White, you win. You're a winner. Someone said never enough. In terms of what people... Yeah, I mean, the truth is, your haters don't need an explanation. Or the people who love you and care about you don't need an explanation. And the people who hate you will never find an explanation to be good enough. So there's no point in trying to explain yourself. Do what you want to do and accept the consequences. It's really the only way to live life successfully, in some ways at least. Yeah, but dump cable, I think Fox is toast. Frank's speech is awesome. True Social is awesome. Easier to get to the truth there. And you're absolutely right that social media is becoming the future. It already is here to some degree, but it's going to do so even more as we move into the next stage of American life, which is going to be a lot more digital, which in some ways is bad, but also in some ways is good. We'll have to find a way to balance that, won't we? This article that I thought was funny, I want to give him a quick shout out. CoinDesk said, opinion, bye Bitcoin bear. No investor or financial advisor has a crystal ball that can predict the movement of an asset, including Bitcoin, with total certainty. But past Bitcoin halvings can provide clues on what we could potentially expect. And they are saying, bye Bitcoin bear, as in a big cryptocurrency boom is coming. You can see the cycle repeats. Someday Bitcoin will outgrow its 4-year price cycles. Until then, it's deja vu all over again. In the Bitcoin bear market, 2014 to 15, the price gravitated around 350 until finally capitulating to 200 and staying there for months. In the Bitcoin bear market of 2018-2019, the price gravitated around 6,000 until finally capitulating around 3,200. It almost looks like those are similar. And staying there for months. And in the Bitcoin bear market of 2022-2023, price went to around 28,000, capitulated at around 16,000, and staying there for months. Each of these cases, the price followed a similar pattern. of peak, multi-month series of lower price highs, and a financial capitulation of 40% that lasted over several months, staying true to the past trends. So there we go. Just based on all the data, you can feel confident in it. And remember, back then, people said this and people got made fun of for it. Now I think there's a lot less people making fun of people for saying this, and there's a lot more people who are starting to understand that it's actually true and is what we're going to see happen. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. If you pay rewards in that, you're gonna be getting hopefully a nice bag there. Bro'd you hear about Floki? Floki what? My goodness. That's quite a name. Floki JIZC. YouTube, am I allowed to say, Susan, can I say that, please? I would say it. I have no problem saying it. By the way, look at this. My bear market shirt. The bear market is underway. My red bear shirt as a massive bear markets. Don't listen to me, the person who studies cryptocurrency all the time. Instead, listen to CNBC, because they're the ones that are right. And don't listen to anyone who tells you to invest in cryptocurrency. It's a terrible idea. It's clearly all going to crash. It's all over. We're done. No more cryptocurrency. It was fun while it lasted. CSNBC, which we should actually put the S in there. I keep trying to say CSNBC because of MSNBC. It's very, 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 very bad for your mind that those two things are so closely named because they're based off the same branch. But we can go ahead and put the S in there. We'll say Snake NBC because they are slithering all around with their reporting here. It's just what's happening. Look, it is what it is. I didn't choose to have to cover this. It chose me when it popped up on my computer screen. Then I didn't have a choice anymore at that point. Just like there's no, oh, look at that. We saw a little bit of a spike since we've been on the show. It's always nice to see a nice little spike there. It is now, I believe it's approximately proportional. So yeah, so the price and the market cap's at 270 now, is around 250, I believe, when we got on the show. Double check me on that if I'm wrong, but it's up now for Dr. Pepe, the most recent cryptocurrency pick, to 270 market cap, which means everyone who invested right when we made the call, which is right there, is now up massively. And that was a lot of people. A lot of people already took profits there. Some people haven't yet. Some people will. Some people are still holding. It's completely up to you, right? What you want to do. But the point is, there's no possible scenario to which being part of this group does not make sense. There's no scenario to where, as long as you're doing even a little bit right when it comes to the moves, if you're playing and having any amount of fun and doing anything even remotely close to right, then it's more than worth it to be a member. And that's something that I consider to be a very beautiful thing that I'm proud of. Is there a new launch coming, says Food Fetched? Are you referring to for the Patreon? Well, we're always looking at projects. I don't think there'll ever be a time when it's a bad idea to diversify your portfolio. Continue diversifying, continue having fun with some projects that, there will be projects that are going to go up and then come back down. And most people say, oh, that's a pump and dump. You can't do that. No project is really truly a pump and dump unless the team themselves literally sell. The only way a project can be pump and dump is if the team sells. If not, then it's not a pump and dump. It's just something that basically every project has around a 20% chance of really going crazy. 1 in 5 projects you invest in have a chance to really go crazy. But the other ones will fall back down. That doesn't necessarily make them a pump and dump because they did have a chance. They had a 20% chance to spike. It's just really hard for a cryptocurrency to go crazy. It doesn't happen every single time. And anyone who tells you it does is unfortunately wrong. It's just the way it is. But that 20% chance, when you consider the fact that you can make enough to retire off of just one crazy breakout, is a pretty darn good thing, in my opinion. And I say that as someone who has done that, who's made a lot of money from that, and who's also, I would like to think, I know for a fact we've helped a lot of people. I'd like to think I helped most of the people who have joined to make a lot of money. There are very rare cases where people have joined the community and lost money. Almost never happens. But it does happen to some people. So to those people, I wouldn't give up. I would continue learning and getting better. And whether you want to stay part of the group or not, still, continue learning, getting better, and you will find success in it. Because it's not as hard as people think to be better than the average crypto investor. It's really not. You can be better just by making a relatively small amount of effort compared to the amount of effort that you would need to make for most things you would do in life. Most things are very hard. That's not. Isn't our way to put it. And everyone thinks they're the best, right? For the most part, who's the worst, which is hilarious because all the people who are actually the best at it typically will think, that they're not that good. They'll doubt it, which is kind of a funny thing. But I like it that way. I think that's the way it should be. It works better that way. As we've also seen Elon Musk and what he's been doing on Twitter, he's really been taking up. He's been taking up the stance of neutrality even to a higher level, which I don't necessarily think is always the right move to take, because it does seem like sometimes he's just doing it to try to appease. But in Elon Musk's case, it is the right move for one reason. That's because he's trying to build a massive social media platform. And to be neutral is to go against everything that the previous people running Twitter did. To be neutral, despite the fact that sometimes it's hard, sometimes you have to be pretending to do something you don't actually want to do. It's still worth it, and it's still the right thing, because the alternative is extreme and bad, and is not even something I ever want to think about again. So Elon Musk, thank you for all the work you're doing, and continue doing it, even though it's obviously not easy. Anyway, I'm Matt Wallace. This is Final Stand. Hope you have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.